Hi everybody, so this is my review on the season 2 of Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Wow, they were pretty great. I reviewed season 1, I did a trailer reaction of season 2, and now here's my thoughts on season 2. Okay, so I don't really have Paramount Plus, I have it through Prime Video, so that's how I can watch these, but anyways, it was a really great series. The first one is about Raphael, and it begins with them in handcuffs in the police station, and they're like, "What are you in for?" And then they told a story about Raphael, and he's in a battle arena. Like he has fight issues, and he likes to get into fights, but then he goes to a gym and learns to wrestle. He has this friend named Spud or something. Yeah, and they call him Spud and make fun of it, but then they take him to a battle arena, but before Bebop and Rocksteady, they were going crazy. They got these things hooked up to them and they were fighting this in the city, and they're like, we gotta figure this out. We gotta find Bebop and Rocksteady. Why are they doing this? But Raphael, he just wants to fight. He just wants to get into fighting. But he goes to a battle arena and he loves doing it, and the purple dragons are responsible for it. At first I thought this was going to be their own take on the Battle Nexus, but no, it's just an underground arena where the purple dragons fight, and they want mutants to fight. Like they got Mondo Gecko in this and Leatherhead, and there's this guy who wants all the Ninja Turtles, so they get them all, but they mind control them. But yeah, they discover Raph's been getting into fights, and they are like, you need to stop this, you're gonna hurt yourself, this is too much. But Raph was like, nah. Then they sneak in, they go to it, but Raph, Donnie, and Mike, even Master Splinter gets mind controlled, and they has to fight each other. But Pigeon Pete, like before, Pigeon Pete was speaking in smart talk, and he was like, do you have this problem? But then they both have to team up and sneak into the battle arena to save their brothers, and they do eventually save the day, and everything was alright. And I really like how they did the purple dragons in this. Like, I like Han in this. Like, he loves animals and he actually tries to help out. I love how he loves animals and he's such a sweetheart. Like, he looks like this big tough guy, but he's such a sweetheart with animals, and I love that. Personally, I do like the Han from the 2003 version because I was kind of getting attached to that Han version, but this Han is really good. The one from 2012 was pretty good too. Like, that one was modeled after Bruce Lee, so that was cool. But anyways, so they stopped the ballerina, and they resolved that, and Raph learns not to get carried away with his fighting. And there is a part where they interrogate Spud, and they make fun of his name, and it was like, my mom just loved potatoes, and oh, that was funny. And then the next episode was all about Donatello. He has this new friend in robotics, and it's Irma. Yeah, that Irma. And the Irma in this version is kind of hot, actually. I mean, look at that. I know some people might be like, well, Ben, isn't she kind of a high schooler? But okay, this is a cartoon. I'm not gonna do anything weird. This is a cartoon, so it doesn't count. I'm not gonna be a creep. So Irma helps Don with a virtual reality game where it was like fighting zombies, and they're like, okay, can you do something extra with horror or something? And then they're like, okay. Then there was a part where Ray Fillet gets attacked, and we didn't know what it was, and then they go to a vet, and it's the half of the other mutanimals, and they're like, what's going on? What happened to him? And turns out it was Toka. Yeah, Toka was the one that fought Ray. And yeah, so Toka and Rezar and these other mutants, like a worm and an ant, are in this. But yeah, Toka and Razar, and they keep blowing up and turn back to normal animals. I feel like that's a homage to the live action movie, but that's interesting. Toka and Razar, and they're like clones of mutant creatures, and they just keep getting made. They keep blowing up into goo. The main villain was about this guy named Jordan Perry. Yeah, I don't know about if Jordan Perry was a character from the source material, but he worked with Baxter Stockman, and he wants to win a Nobel Prize and win a lot of money. But then there was a part where they already went past the Nobel Prize, and it was like, no. And Donatello, I love that he referenced like anime and different sci-fi shows and movies. I think that's cool. And his brothers are always like, you make fun of me about nerd stuff and love what I like to do. And they even reference Star Wars and One Punch Man. I really love these pop culture references they do. I think that's really fun. But it's revealed that Jordan Perry has like this big mutant that wants to destroy everything. It's like this big giant eyeball creature, and he even gets eaten, and it's really gross. And they try to find a way to defeat it so it won't destroy the city, and even Irma kind of helps out, and Metalhead, like they doing this robotics thing, but it's Metalhead, and Metalhead helps them. It's like protect mutants. They took down the evil giant mutant and Perry. I think he got freed. I can't remember, but there was this good Tokan racer that tries to help Donatello because they were watching this video about Donatello, and they were like, "I'm your best friend," so they became friends. But yeah, they defeated the evil Mega Mutant, the Omega Mutant, and then they fixed a video game and they made it into a great horror, and they were like, "Oh, that's too scary." I was like, "Oh, make up your mind." And the next episode was really cool. It was Leonardo's story, and he was the super ninja, the night ninja. And it opened with Raphael and Donatello and Michelangelo reading Leonardo's diary, and they're trying to read the story about the night ninja. And for those of you who aren't aware, I'm a big fan of superhero themed episodes, like the one where Homer becomes Pie Man, the Bartman stories, Winnie the Pooh, like Tigger when he became the Masked Defender, the Mermaid Man Bark Boy 5, where they become superheroes in that. That Fairly Odd Parents episode with the big superhero wish, and yeah, I'm a big fan of like superhero themed episodes. This one's where Leonardo was trying to be a superhero ninja. Like it begins with him talking to an old lady at the subway about him being a hall mother, or being hall mother is boring. But then he stopped these robbing a lady with a purse. Then the police got them, but there was an explosion with a hot dog, and he helped save the dog, and he helped save the day, and everyone was like, "Yay, he's that mutant hero. He saved the day. We all appreciate him. He's a hero." He was like, "Oh, thanks." And the dog licked him. That was cute. So he was being a real hero. So he's like, "We can be heroes." And then they recap their lives. We stopped Superfly and Bishop, and there's those fish people, it's like the mutant creatures, the Battle Royale place. But then they were like, "Well, we can be real superheroes. We should try. We should fight crime." And Donatello's like, "They'll be really illegal because we're vigilantes." But it's interesting, Leonardo really wants to be like a superhero, because I always think that would be like a Michelangelo or even a Raphael thing, like the Night Watcher. I always feel like that's something like Michelangelo or Raphael might do, but I think it's cool that Leonardo, who's supposed to be the responsible leader, that he wants to be a hero. I like that. But then they go behind, he fights crime and dresses up as as the night ninja and stops these people from stealing a truck. And then April found out, and they were like, "That's clearly you." And I was like, "Okay, fine. I just wanted to help people." And they're like, "No, we think it's cool. I mean, you broke many laws being vigilante, but we think that's pretty cool." Yeah, I like that they're on board with this. Like before, they were like any other show would tell them to be like, "No, you need to stop this." But, well, it's Ninja Turtles. Like before, they did this all the time, but I guess since they're in school and doing other things, you kind of have to give them a reason, have them fight their own battles with mutants and stuff. But yeah, I actually like this because the Ninja Turtles do stuff like this. So I like that they're hyped about it and they try to get involved, and they stop crimes, they suit up and become night ninjas and fight crime. Like that's really cool. And they're like, "We're the night ninjas," and April's recording and wearing a mask. But then they discover that all dogs are getting kidnapped, and I was like, "Well, let's help these dogs." And then they go to a florist, and turns out there's this evil lady called the florist, and the florist has all these weapons, and they're stealing dogs at a hotel, and they're trying to figure this out. They're like, "What does dogs, florist, and guns have to do with all of this?" So they go to the hotel. They try to fight the florist, the evil lady, and but then it just makes things worse and starts the building on fire. And then Leo's like, "What have I done?" I was like, "Well, you did help save the day. You helped save the clerk, and you saved his life." And I was like, "Yeah, but this whole thing's my fault." Yeah, because he was fighting the lady with the laser, and yeah, there was a laser, and it caused a fire, but they were like, "We need to stop and retire." But then the florist was talking to the evil guy, and he's like, "We got a problem, the night ninjas." And turns out the evil guy is revealed to be, they call him Scratcher or Scratch or something, but he's supposed to be Old Hope from the IDW comics, but here he's like Scratcher or something to give him a different name, but he has a similar backstory. I read a little bit of the comic, but he fights Splinter, but he goes to get his revenge on him, and the Ninja Turtles fight him, but as little babies, but they don't remember him. But yeah, they get back as the Night Ninjas because he makes a TV announcement and he's like, I'm gonna do this plan at these different dog stores. And they crash through the window, oh my gosh, and they try to stop the evil guy, but turns out it was these fleas things that were making dogs evil and crazy, but they were like, oh, I can't be mad at you, you're so cute. Oh, well, they are using cute dogs, but yeah, it's like evil vampire flea mutants, and they were almost gonna blow up a dog show, but turns out it was all a distraction because Scratch is, I think his name's Scratch, so Scratch tries to go to the lair, and Scumbug and Splinter were arguing, and Scratcher sneaks into the lair, but he kidnaps Scumbug and later gets her hostage, and there were even a fight with the turtles, and they were like, you don't remember me? And he tries to explain, but he's like, no, we don't remember you, but they were babies, so... But then they're like, we need to find where he's keeping Scumbug. And they're like, he said scratching posts on the top where you can touch the sky. So skyscraper, the Statue of Liberty. So yeah, they go there. They try to rescue Scumbug. And then there was an awesome fight. And Scratcher was like, I want my revenge on you guys. And it's like, do you really want this revenge? I wanted to be a hall monitor, but that didn't work out. And he was like, how is your pain similar to mine? I was abandoned by my family. But it was like, okay, but then there was a big epic battle, and Scratch fall down, like he fell down, and then Donnie rescued him. It was like, we're all okay, we need to stop being night ninjas. And it's like, but you were actually a great hero, you helped save the day, and like, that was good. But yeah, and you do find Master Splinter. He was getting flowers, and he was saying he's sorry and he loves you, and to Scumbug, oh my gosh. And yeah, he's still kind of talking in vermin. Like, seriously, how expensive would it be to get Jackie Chan? Is he really that expensive, or is it timing? Like, does he have other projects he's working on? Come on, how hard is it to get Jackie Chan for this? But Scratch, like, he fell down, he landed on his feet, and the fleas were like, we want to eat something, because they were trying to eat the turtles, which is pretty gross. But they were like, we'll eat you instead. I was like, no! I don't know if he's gonna survive this, but I don't know what's gonna happen to him. I don't know if he survived, but in the next episode, this one was a Michelangelo story, and Michelangelo was doing improv, but he has this friend named Rod. Yeah, remember the guy with the eyes? Yeah, he makes a comeback, but they were like, he's a terrible friend. He keeps trying to kidnap us and send people to kidnap us because he wants his blood, and he wants to be immune. And I was like, well, come on, he's not such a bad guy. And they're like, no, he's pretty much. But then later he posted a video and he was like, I got kidnapped. And then the dad gets involved and he's like, he got kidnapped, I need your help. I was like, can you just call the police or do something? I was like, I can't pay the ransom. My son does a lot of stupid things and I can't pay for this anymore. So then they try to find them. They go to Bishop, but Bishop was not helping, and there was a fight with the robots, and he was like, he has a brother and sister, and then they try to figure out the brother and sister, and then they found out that he has like mutagen blood, and they were like, we need to find him. And they go to the brother and sister. They go to the sister, but she's like an evil scientist, and they want to steal parts, and they're like, no way. And the other brother, he was like, he exercises, he hits the gym, and he has all these people wearing animal masks, and Leatherhead is there, and that Leatherhead was almost getting eaten, and they were like, they want to eat you. It's like, I want to eat him so I can be immune. And they're like, no, that's gross. Rod, he actually escapes, yeah, and the brother and sisters named Maud and Todd. Yeah, Rod, Maud, and Todd. Do they know anyone named Flanders? Ned? Oh my gosh. So Rod actually escapes. He uses a thing to escape and he gets out, but then it's revealed that the blood thing they had was a fake. And oh yeah, they do escape the Todd's place, and Leatherhead wanted a zebra for some reason. That's kind of funny. But then Rod, he's like, the mutagen I blood was a fake. I just grabbed a bunch of muck and this. I was like, okay, we're leaving. And Mikey was like, okay, well, let's just talk to your dad. But there was this whole thing like, why do you keep helping him? Why do you want to be his friend? Oh, they reveal it and it's really sweet. But then they go to the dad's place and there was like, I want the mutagen. They get the mutagen, but it's actually fake. But the brother, Todd, like he got a scale from the Leatherhead and they go to Maud and she creates a mutagen. She's like, I created a real mutagen. Turns out the evil dad, Todd Sr., he drinks it. Yeah, he straight up drinks it. Both formulas, but one was a fake and one was real. And he turns into like Muckman. They even point out, you're Muckman. And he really mutates. Like he gets muscular and just really mutates and he turns into a blob with a skull in it. You know, I know they said he's supposed to be Muckman in this version, but he kind of looks like Mutagen Man almost, just without the thing holding it. He looks more like a Mutagen Man than a Muck Man. Also, there's a backstory with Todd, Maud, and Rod, and they were eating ice cream cookies, and they were like, I want to do this. I was like, I just want us to hang out. I was like, no, that's lame. And then the brother was trying to steal his ice cream sandwich, but then the dad was like, he stole the ice cream sandwich later, and they were like, you can't keep having families be distractions. You have to do something about it. And he eats his ice cream sandwich, and I was like, no. And he doesn't get any. But yeah, so after the dad becomes Muckman, and he tries to destroy everything in sight, they were like, we need to create more muck and have him explode, and that will stop it. And they were like, okay, let's do it. I don't know if that's how it works. And there's a sweet scene where they reveal why Mikey wants to be Rod's friend, because he understands him, because Mikey doesn't feel like he's treated equally like his brothers, and he wants to be a friend to try to make him better, kind of like how the brothers are. And they were like, oh my gosh. You know, what I do like about this series is that, because I like the Mutant Mayhem movie fine, but you don't really see that much of their personalities. I really see a lot of their personalities in this, like Leo trying to be the heroic leader, trying to be better, and Raph with his angry impulsiveness, and Donnie with his nerd tech abilities, and even Mikey trying to feel like the outsider, and his brother's not taking them that seriously. Also, minor thing to bring up, but when I was watching one of the episodes, there was like this audio thing that was narrating and reading the script to one of the episodes, and I'm like, that's kind of distracting, so I had to stop it a few times, but nothing was working. But they were like, yeah, okay, this is why I'm friends with him, and there was an emotional moment, and they were like, let's get all this muck, and they explode Muckman, they used it on him, and there was a great big fight, and Muckman exploded, and there was a scene where the brother and sister, Todd and Maud, were eaten, but then they were freed and they all hugged and they were going to business. Like, she didn't want to be a scientist, she wanted to make coffee, and the brother, Todd, like, he wanted to help animals, and they go into business with themselves, and they just were a close family. Yeah, and turns out it was all, they were telling the story at an improv, and they were like, yeah, everything was all right. But then it shows at the end credit, at the end, where Bishop is creating a giant mech robot that's part of the Earth Protection Force. Oh, wow. I don't know if they're gonna give this a third season, because I actually heard the show's canceled. Like, we're only just gonna get 2 seasons. I kind of understood, because this was like trying to connect to the movies. Like, they were trying to be like a spin-off story to connect to the movies, like be a TV show of the movies, and this was like a TV show of like what was happening in between the movies. But it was a really great series. But here's the thing, like, I don't know if this should be like a full series. I feel like this should just be a mini series that's in between the movies, because I think that's what it's supposed to be. But people were treating this like as like a full series. Like, there was a lot of episodes, but it is supposed to be a series that connects to the movies, because here's the thing, you can't really treat this like a full Ninja Turtle series, because like the other series, animated series, like, because here's the thing, because it's based connecting to the movies, you kind of have to use characters that chances are won't be made into movie characters. Because obviously you can't use Shredder and the Foot Clan and Karai, because that you're waiting till the sequel, like that you want to use for the movie. Like you want to wait till when the movies come out, because so far they didn't show other characters like Casey Jones or Crane or other characters like we know from the source material, like the more famous villains or side characters. Because with this tries to be like a mini series that connects to them, that takes place in between the movie. Yeah, so you can't really use more famous characters because they want to wait to use that for the movies. Like for instance, Shredder. Like the main villain of the Ninja Turtles is the Shredder, and they want to wait till the second movie for Shredder. But yeah, but this they want to rely on lesser known villains that would make great characters in a TV show, but not in a movie. And I really like how deep Donatello's voice here, because I thought he sounded a little too kiddish in the first movie, so I do like that he sounds more mature. And I am excited for Jerome Alone 2 Lost in New Jersey short they're gonna do for SpongeBob. I'm excited about that. But here's the thing, we're gonna get SpongeBob and Avatar Fire and Ash this week, but I don't know which one I should go first, because here's something they're both gonna do. They're both gonna play something at the beginning, like SpongeBob, they're gonna play the short Drum Alone Lost in New Jersey, the Ninja Turtles short, and Fire and Ash, they're gonna release like a special trailer for Avengers Doomsday, so I don't know which one I should go and see first. Well, anyways, I thought the series was really great. I have no idea how long this video is. I hope it's not too long. But anyways, what did you thought of season 2 of Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Because remember, this is supposed to be like not a full series, just like an anthology of different stories of what's happening throughout it. So yeah, and it is trying to connect to the movies. Like that's why you can't hear Splendor talk. So I'm okay with this just getting 2 seasons. Because remember, this isn't supposed to be like a full-on series. This is supposed to be like a mini series that connects to the movies, so this is okay. Like, because when you're doing a Ninja Turtle series, you want to use like famous villains like Shredder and the Foot Clan. But anyways, so this was a really great series to watch. What did you thought? And a minor thing to talk about, but at the dollar store I just got this Ninja Turtle poster, and I hang it on my ceilings because I got a lot of other posters, but I might move some and move it around. But anyways, well, what did you thought of Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles season 2? Did you like it? I like seeing Hope kind of, but yeah, it was a really great series. What did you thought? I don't know if we're gonna get a 3rd season, but what did you all think? Comment below and tell me what you think. Subscribe, and see you next time.